Hi everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Angela, and welcome to my video today where I'm going to be teaching you the torn paper scroll technique card. So hi everyone, and thank you for joining me today. And today I'm going to share with you the torn paper scroll technique, which is a fun way to make a card, and it's just a way that you can just make it look a little bit different, and it's not too difficult to do. So today I'm going to do it with stamps. I'm going to use the Wildflower Path stamp set, which is like a two-step stamping kind of set, and you can use designer series paper and things as well. So if you want to keep it a little bit simpler, you can try that. So I will show you my card, and at the end I'll show you a few more examples, so to give you some ideas, and then perhaps you would like to try this technique as well. So we will get started, and I will turn my camera around and we will get crafting. Right, so here is this week's card. So this is the torn paper technique. So you can see here that the paper is torn and there is like a little scroll there. So what we're going to be doing with our stamping is stamping in this area and creating a card. So the colors that I've used for the stamping is Evening Evergreen, and some old olive for the grass at the bottom. For the flowers, Fresh Freesia for the fuller shape, and Highland Heather for a bit of an accent, and a little bit of yellow as well. So I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see that, how that all fits together. And then I've done a little bit of sponging around here just to add a bit of colour and not too much white. So the stamp set that we are using is called the Wildflower Path. And I quite like this. It's two-step stamping. You look at that and think, oh my goodness, that's really kind of unusual. But that's because you stamp like the stems first, and then you can add your fuller flowers, which is the Fresh Freesia, and then you add these ones here, which are the kind of accent sort of colours, and a bit of the yellow and things. So there's lots of ways you can create with this card. Makes a lovely kind of scene and things, but you don't need to do any colouring. Alright, so I'll show you what we're going to use. Just a few embellishments and some linen thread and cardstock really. So my card base is the usual size, so half an A4, so 21 centimeters by 14.85, scored at 10.5. A few layers here. So on the front I've got a piece that is 10 centimeters by 14.3. And this is just a fraction smaller, so it is 14 centimeters by 9.7. And I need two of those for the front, because I need to layer it to piece behind. And then I need one on the inside and another as well. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is, so for my two pieces on the front, I'm going to tear first. So I like to sort of keep it controlled. So you want to kind of a reasonable size, a bit of gap top and bottom, and about slightly more than halfway, I would say. So I just kind of with my thumbs control it and rip about over, whoops, it's going a bit wonky, but that's okay. Yeah, about that far, and then think about the width, and it might depend on what you're stamping as well, like so. That looks pretty good. So on the piece underneath is where I'm going to stamp. So to give me some idea where I'm stamping, I'm just going to mark it with a pencil. So I'm just going to lift up this piece here and just kind of above. Actually, I might just come under, sort of about there and into about here. That's kind of my area where I need to stamp. Okay, I'm going to use the piecing mat because these are photopolymer stamps, so it just helps it be a little bit spongier and helps me to get a better stamped image. All right, starting with the Evening Evergreen. So there's two different stems. This one here allows for me to put the flower on top. This one's just more kind of decoration. So we're going to start with this one. I don't want it too high because I still need to allow for my flower. So we'll come about there, and then we'll do one a little bit lower so they're not all the same height, and then the other one in the middle, like so. Now I'm going to do the grass at the bottom with my old olive. So it's quite long, this stamp, but where's my pencil mark? Here. So I only want it showing up a little bit. Oops, I've put that in the wrong ink pad. Let's get some old olive. Let's put that there. Okay, so my pencil line is there, so a little bit higher. Actually, I might start in the middle, then I kind of know the height. There we go. Lovely. Okay, now we'll do our flowers. So using the lighter colour first. So this one here is the more full shape. So I'm lining them up with these points. A little bit harder now I've done the grass, but that's okay. Could do that first, I suppose. One gets lost in the grass, but it's okay. There we are. Then I'm going to come through with my Highland Heather, which is a slightly different shade of kind of purple, and that will give that sort of true dimension to it. So I don't know how easily you can see that I'm lining it up. Oh, that looks nice. Where's the last sort of flowers in the grass? That's okay. All right, and a bit of yellow to accent. So there is a stamp that looks like that. So I'm just sort of gonna, whoops, one's floating a bit in here, but that's all right. Okay, so that's our piece that's gonna go underneath. And where is my torn piece? Here. So that's gonna go like this, and it will come through here. So that one is a little bit low. Could have done it a bit higher. It's not really anything I can add to it, but that's okay. We'll make it work. All right, so I did blend some color on this just to prevent it from being too white. So I'm using my fresh freesia. Start off the page, and as much or as little as you like. Whoops. That's a bit too dark there, but that's all right. We'll kind of blend it in somehow. Yeah, definitely start off the page. I have to make this one a bit darker all around, but there we go. Off the page, off the page. All right, how'd that look? Okay, so my sentiment to this one's a thank you. I've made them with happy birthday as well, so you can kind of choose, but I will go with a thank you on this one. So this is also in the set. So let's line that up, and hopefully, I think I need a bit more ink. Don't rock it because I've got it on the edge of the block. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so then we've rolled this. So what I suggest to kind of stretch the fibers is use your bone folder and kind of, I don't know what you call this, do that. And that kind of stretches it, and it helps it make it easier when you come to roll it. Otherwise it's going to crease a bit more. And then you don't have to, but you could kind of use a pencil to go around to help it. I've got a bit of green on there too now, like so. Okay, now that's obviously not very tight, but that's okay. So you can make it tight, and then you can glue it down like that and just leave it like that. But if you look on this card, you'll see I've added some twine or linen thread. So the best way to do that is actually to cut it off and then glue it back on again. So this is what I do. Try not to get, so I'm gonna cut here, and let's glue it together now. Oops, moving everything out right here. All right, just need to wipe my hands because I'm seem to have some green ink on it. I don't want to get it on other places on my card. Okay, glue. Around we go. All right, so line it up as best you can, because we don't really want to see the piece underneath. There we go. Okay, so that doesn't look so good like that, but that's okay. We're going to cover it up. Okay, and so now I'm going to roll this up, and you don't actually need the full piece, so we're actually going to cut a bit off because you don't want it too sticking up. So we're going to do that, and we're going to glue it down. So you might just need to sort of hold that for a minute. I haven't sponged this side, but if you wanted to, you could, but it's sort of like the underside that you don't need to. Then I'm going to get some of my linen thread, so it's glued down now, and tie it around, and that's how I get the bow. But like I say, you don't have to cut it off and tie it. You could just glue it down, but it just makes it not quite so bulky, and you can, you know, make it how you like. All right, so there we go. Then I'm going to glue that there. So you want to just make sure that you are covering up your line. It's not quite straight, so let's just, okay, then I'm going to put some glue, whoops, and try and make it scroll shaped and glue it down. So you didn't realize that when you saw that it was actually kind of added later, did you? So then we can kind of put our card together and stamp on the inside as well. All right. So just grabbing a piece for the inside. Okay, so let's glue this together. So we're going to put this on here. So it's just a narrow border. You can, you know, have a wider border if you like, but it just kind of helps frame it. There we are. And then onto our card front, which is the Fresh Freesia. Now remember to stay around to the end because I've got other examples to show you as well. And you can learn from my mistakes too. There we go. All right, so we just need to add a little bit of bling to it. So these are, can't remember exactly what they're called, to be honest. I'm not sure if they're iridescent gems or something, but we'll add a couple of those. I like these ones because they're quite big. I'm looking for my little ones. They tend to pull out the colour that you're using, which is quite nice. Here we go. Here's some smaller ones, which is what I'm looking for. Oops. They're hiding inside the bag. That's why I can't. Oh, those ones are. Here we go. All right. Come here. Sort of over there, and then one a little bit by our sentiment. There we go. All right, so that's the front of our card. So for the inside, I've just stamped something like that. So we'll get our piece of white and do our flower again. So like so, and our two-step stamping with the flower. But you can use whatever stamp set that you've got that you like to decorate your scroll part, I guess you could say. And let's add a little bit of grass too, just to sort of finish it off at the bottom. Lovely. Okay, so just so it all coordinates, we are going to put that onto the green as well. Then again, it just helps it to stand out. All right. Definitely like the evergreen colour. Very nice, quite nice for Christmas cards and things too. It's a little bit of extra cardstock there. How's that? All right. So here is today's card. So I think this one's probably a little bit neater. I've probably and I think what I forgot to do with this one is actually glued it before together and then stuck it down. All right, so here's another one I did earlier, my first attempt. So this one here, this has got the happy birthday. I didn't go as far. And I kind of think it's probably good to go over that halfway mark. So that's just a comparison so you can see, but you can do it how you like. Here's one that someone made for me. Same idea, just lots of white on this one. They've used it's the poppy stamp. They've coloured the poppies and then they've kind of sponged the background. So it's very white around it, and that really stands out because it's a contrast with the colour. So that's quite cool. So that's with stamping. And at the beginning, I also mentioned how you can use designer series paper. So here's one that we did at a team training. So this is not stamping, this is designer series paper. And so you don't need a white piece in the back. You could just adhere your designer series paper straight on. Although probably for lining up, it's still good to have that behind. And then this has been sponged with, I think, sort of crumb cake just to help it stand out a bit more. But the only real stamping is the sentiment. Sentiment's a little bit more over this side as well. So yeah, lots of variations. So let me put them all out so you can have a look. So I hope you liked today's technique. It's given you some ideas. So why not have a go? Find a stamp set that you've got that will kind of, you know, fit in a small area. You'll see with this one too. The flower was too high. So, you know, you learn from giving things a go, and you can improve them and that kind of thing as well. So give it a go with some stamps and things that you've got, or maybe some pretty DSP. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask, or if you would like a catalogue or like to order product, please get in touch with me. So thanks again for watching. I hope you are inspired by this card and give it a go, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. So thanks for joining me, and see you again soon. Thanks, bye.